Yes, sir, we're on.
Yeah, I'm on too. Everybody on?
Yeah.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Has everybody taken a chance to look over our minutes from our last meeting? If so, do I hear a motion?
You do.
Got a
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor? All right, we'll move on down to financial report.
Yeah, I've got that here. Be one page for each person. Not a whole lot on the DDA one. This is just activity, shows the activity for the year through May 31st, and then also the activity just for May. The only thing that I wanted to point out is the audit, the city audit was just completed recently, and the DDA is included in the city audit, and so they came back with one change that we had to make to our financials, and they moved that $50,000 to a accounts payable to the city. So the auditors are saying that needs to be shown as a loan that going to get paid back to the city. So that's the way I moved it, to show that in our financials, because I know there had been some debate about whether that was a loan to be paid back or what, but according to the city auditors, it is.
And there was only about 22,000 or something left on that, isn't it?
Of the original 50,000, there was about 22,000 left. Let's see exactly. Right now, there's 19,713 left.
So what have we spent of that? There was 22,000 last month, I think. Yeah, 21,222.
There was 21,222. Is that the number you just wrote off?
Yes.
Yes. The Tysinger Vance, 1509.
Okay.
That's really the only thing that gets paid out of that account. It's just their legal fees each month. That's the big thing.
Okay.
Any question for Carl? If not, we'll move down to downtown development. I guess we'll move down to old business. We're going to have to amend the old business for a second board member that we got an application in for today, so we're amending that to have a B in that one. Okay, DDA board member application, we had one from Ryan Clark, which is in your packet. And we had one more today for Kimberly Stovall. Anybody want to see her application?
Yeah, we need to. Is this your only copy?
I made one extra one.
Okay.
And that was, you was going to, when we found somebody, is that right?
I'll look at that.
Oh,
Let's see.
next report.
Marketing specialist.
And this is just to make a recommendation to the city council. I think it was the 11th they're meeting this month instead of the 4th.
And are we trying to fill one spot or two?
Two spots.
We're trying to fill two spots.
Two applications.
So mine's one spot. What's the other spot?
Gary,
Gary. Did you resign?
he got a job out of state.
Oh, wow, okay.
Jody, are you saying that you're resigning?
Well, if there is someone that will step up, then, I mean, Mondays, like I made it today, but I babysit in Atlanta on Mondays, and it's just going to be really difficult to, make a commitment to be here. I flew in this afternoon. But I will go Thursday unless, if we make a decision about appointing someone and that someone can go.
It won't be official till
Okay.
after the council meeting.
Well, I will share my input and thoughts, and I won't be shy.
All right. Do we have any more recommendations?
Nope.
Do I hear a motion to put these two before the city council at their next council meeting?
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Unanimous. All right, we'll move on down to gateway and directional signs. Do you have that?
Yeah, I just wanted to update the DDA that we are moving forward with those who didn't meet for this last meeting. With them, they did come down, look at the location.
That would help.
Right now, what they're doing is preparing the application with our signage to submit to DOT to get DOT approval. And so right now, we're just at that process, and we anticipate that to take about 45 days. But of course, it is DOT, and we don't really know what the exact time frame is. But once we get the go-ahead from them, that's the biggest hurdle. And then at that point, it'll just be the time that it takes to get the signs manufactured and installed. So right now, we're just waiting on that information from DOT at this time. But the project is moving forward, and we hope to have some dirt moving here pretty soon.
All right, anything else on gateway and directional signs?
Chris, are we getting, on the directional signs, are we getting sponsorships from the downtown businesses?
We are submitting that to the DOT. There was some question whether or not they would approve having business signs, because traditionally they just have institutional signs, so like City Hall, library, universities, museums, and it's not very common that they do, like Uncourt, Lost Cowboy signs. But one of the arguments that we made was that they actually, on the state right-of-way in Pendleton, they actually have, if you go to the square, you'll see that they'll have directional signs with the names of specific businesses. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen them other places too, so good. I'm glad you reminded them of that.
Yeah, so we're sending that, and of course we can't really move forward with that until DOT gives us their okay.
Okay, thank you.
Huh?
All right, we'll move on down to C, Hotel Conference Center Hotel.
Yeah, and that particular project, as you all know, we had the consultant come in and do a presentation to the council, and we invited members of the DDA to come about the recommendation about the hotel conference center. That was very positive feedback from the consultant firm that we hired, and made recommendations about the size of the hotel and the size of the conference center. And so at this point, Andy, with Carol Tomorrow and I are kind of working to move that project along. We do have some people that have shown some interest that we've sent some information to about the project, and at this point they're just running the numbers to see logistically how it works from them and as a portfolio. And so we don't really have any concrete information, but I just wanted to keep y'all updated of where we are on the process of that and how we're progressing. But I do think that the deadline of 2020, I think, is realistic, and I think we'll get some movement here in the next few months on that project.
Great.
All right, we'll move on down to new business, Woodstock visit.
I didn't hear that.
The Woodstock visit.
Oh, yeah, the Woodstock. I just wanted to put that on you all's agenda. I just sent you all out an invite and an email about the trip to Woodstock. There's a couple of development projects that aren't necessarily in downtown, but they affect downtown and they're close proximity to downtown. So we wanted to keep the DDA in the loop with those projects, and so that they knew what was going on. And so on this Thursday, we want to take a trip to Woodstock to look at a development from a company that wants to do a similar development in Villa Rica. And that's just a good opportunity for us to get a feel for the size and the scope of how that will look and the impact that it could have on our city, but also downtown with the close proximity. This is, without giving too much information, this is a project that would actually be in that lot here across the street from Publix. all of that big land that's there. It's owned by. We can
Anything else on the Woodstock visit? Those that can go, and I got commitments that day.
How many of us are planning on going?
I am.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the question.
They were asking how many are planning on going Thursday,
Oh, okay.
and it looks like it's Jody, Bill, and Tom.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on the
Okay.
anything else on
Well,
the
that's good. Well, the bus will pull out.
We'll be there.
All right, moving on.
All right.
Moving on down Mirror Lake connection up.
Yes, as you all. Being constructed in a timely manner, and the council recognizing that they voted to allocate funds which were already budgeted from SPLOST to move forward with the project. We have received a preliminary professional design service contract from BM&K. That contract's been sent to the city attorney to review and make recommendations and changes. We'll send that back to BM&K, and if they're agreeable to everything, we'll get that contract executed. They're due to have construction design. On approval from the council.
Christopher, is that going to be overseen by council or overseen by the DDA?
It's not, I don't know that it would necessarily qualify as a DDA project, only because a good portion of it is not in the DDA footprint. I guess just by default it's kind of been dropped in my lap. Yeah.
Well, I can understand it not being completely in our footprint, but it certainly does impact the downtown area. But I don't want to add another level of time-consuming approval and stuff just for time's sake either.
I think it's just appropriate to let the city do it. I think, we'll keep obviously the DDA's best interest in mind as this project moves forward, but construction of roads is generally a city function.
Okay.
And so I don't really think it needs to be a DDA function.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else on the connector? If not, welcome center bid, Chris.
Great. So as you all know, doing the specs and the bid process. So they pretty much managed the whole process as far as putting together the specs, putting out the RFP, getting the bids back. They were there for the bid opening, and they verified that all contractors could actually do the job. Feel comfortable that they can do the work that we need done, and the process. But the reality is, so that the keep in mind. That's a possibility that there will be some changes. But Chip Ward did say he felt good about the company and that they could do it and do the quality job that we're looking for.
Chris, I don't understand why I'm assuming that GC, general contract license, the last two don't have a license number.
Right, and some companies have it just because of other businesses they do with the state and stuff, and some do not. So specifically roofing company.
So roofing companies don't require state oversight? That's scary. Okay, thank you.
When will they start, Chris?
That company has assured us that they can be on site 10 days after the awarding of the contract. But I would like to hold on. I'd like to do a groundbreaking, and that date is in the packet for that Monday, the July 17th. I think it's important symbolically. This is, our first project that we're actually doing that's part of the RSVP. So I think it's important for us to kind of kick off what we hope is the first of many projects that will happen downtown. So they should be ready to be on site. If we do the groundbreaking on 17th, they should be ready by the 18th. So.
Any more questions on the roof bids?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
He just asked if there were more questions.
I've got one question. I'm assuming all of those bids, Chris, had that contingency in there.
I heard something about contingency. That's all I heard.
Bill just asked if all of the bids had the contingency in there.
Yeah, they all have a little bit of contingency in them already because as part of the bid, Chip said, listen, go ahead and put this much contingency in it. So the bid has a little bit of wiggle room in it. But again, the repairs could exceed that contingency.
Then I move we accept the low bid.
Got a motion to accept the low bid. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. All in favor?
Jody, I think that whoever goes and works on that roof would have to get a building permit of some sort from the city to do that kind of construction, which would require an inspection by the codes enforcement department. So I think, of course, the roofing company is going to know a lot more than the inspector probably, but I think that is part of the oversight that we would see in that project.
Thank you, Tom. I'm still think that our first thing that got voted out was had the better oversight, and I'm just still concerned. But I know you guys
can do a lot of wiring for $30,000-$40,000.
I know.
All right, we'll move on down to public comment.
Did we vote on the bid?
We did. It got approved.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear somebody yelled out anything, so I...
Yeah, it was approved. It was approved 5-1.
Okay.
All right. And then we have some public comment, so let me know if you can't hear.
Hi, Chris. It's Kim Poor, 326 North Avenue, Villa Roca. I'm here in 3 capacities tonight. The first capacity is as a Historic Preservation Villa Roca member. We are restarting the plaque program designating historic points of interest in downtown Villa Roca. Excuse me, which includes the historic downtown region, of course, which is under your purview. We would like to ask for suggestions, comments, whatever you might deem appropriate. We will be taking most likely approximately 10 places of interest under consideration. So we're including businesses as well as homes. So please feel free to, give us some thoughts. Second capacity is the president of the Villa Roca Area Historical Society, which is involved heavily with the Park House. We are also looking for projects. The Park House is not going to be our full focus, so we're looking for other things, suggestions requested again. Third capacity is Kim Poor, private resident of the downtown historical area. I'd like to find out how married the council is to the idea of the True Hotel by Hilton. To me, the visual of that hotel is just not what I'd like to see downtown Villa Roca looking like. It's too modern. It looks like the Jetsons set down in the middle of Mayberry. That's just my thought. That's my comments. Thank you very much.
So Chris, her first capacity, I don't know if you heard it, was as the historical preservation, and that's when she was asking for, they're going to consider up to 10 plaques for the downtown, including downtown.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard all of it.
Okay, all right.
I just kind of approach it like the city council. We don't make rebuttals or comments about public comment, but we definitely we'll get back to her on those things.
Okay, we'll move on down to number 8, items for future. Nothing, probably.
I'm assuming 8 and 9 go together. It's
8 and 9,
items for
yeah.
future agenda.
And anything on the executive on 10?
Chris, you got any other items or executive session, anything?
No executive session items today.
All right.
All right, do we have a motion we adjourn the DDA meeting then?
So moved.
All right, motion and a second by Jody. Okay, let me write that down. Okay, all in favor? Okay, so we'll move over to the Tourism Board. Called the meeting to order at 6:39. Is everybody taking a minute, look over our minutes from our last meeting? If so, do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, move on down to number 3, financial report.
Yep. Just like we had with the DDA. And for this one, this includes all activity that's happened in the Convention and Visitors Bureau since it started back, last year until today. So this shows everything that we've collected, although the city tax collections, which they're up to date, we've got last month's, everything's been deposited. And then all the expenses underneath there. And the balance in that account right now is with that net income number at the bottom, 14,162. So that's how much we have in the tourism account at the moment. Any
Carl, what
questions?
was the amount last month from the motel hotel tax? Just a ballpark figure.
I just did 2 months. I got 2 months at one time. One of them was 4,500 and one of them was just over 5,000. I can't remember which one was which, but they're averaging around $5,000.
Okay.
Any question from Carl? If not, we'll move on down to old business, tourism branding update. Chris?
Yes. So one thing, just to piggyback on what Carl was talking about, the financials, Sarah and I have been in contact with the state about when we can start collecting the increase on the hotel motel tax. We actually set the governor signed off on it. We're good to start collecting that tax July 1. It's going to be pushed back to August because we have to put a resolution before the council, and they have to vote on it. So we'll put that resolution on their agenda in July, and then that will go into effect in August. And so we should start seeing an actual increase based on the new formula, based on the increase in the hotel motel tax collection. So it's actually going to start changing our number. As far as the brand, included golf courses as part of the attraction, because obviously, you know, that's a draw for us that people can come to go look at a golf. So I'm just looking at what other resources we have as far as tourism standpoint, making sure that we have professional grade photographs. We're working on descriptions of these different products, and then we'll be putting those on the website and then in the new brochure. So that's moving along pretty quickly. The new brand.
Okay, we'll move on down to number 6, new board, whatever board. Advisory board.
Advisory board. Yeah, so at the last meeting, we appointed the last. And I don't think, did you schedule a date yet for the first meeting?
I haven't gotten everybody confirmed yet. Waiting on the hotel
Representative.
conference confirmation.
Okay, so we're in the process of getting ready to set a date. I think probably a Monday is probably going to be good, but we're just trying to get a feel. So we're trying to go ahead and get that group together and get them talking and having some dialogue and start getting some organization to that committee so we can start making recommendations on things to do. So that should be moving pretty quickly here. And then the only
What was the amount we give them?
I don't know how much we gave them last year.
Do you know, Chris, how much we give them last year?
I'm not sure how much they received last year.
We don't really know until September. Could we put
If we keep it in line with what we've been doing for most organizations, it's been around $1,000 to $1,500
question. Could it be put off till our next meeting? I had another application also. Could we put them off till our next meeting?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to the discretion of the board. Obviously, I think Taste of Billerick is in October, I think it is.
Yes,
Correct.
October, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we have a little bit of time if that's the desire of the board.
So we can find out how much we give them last year and go from there then, maybe?
That'd be fine.
All right, do we have that motion then?
So move.
All right, we got a motion to put it off to our next meeting. Do I have a second? All right. Okay, public comment?
Need an all in favor?
All in favor? All right. Okay, public comment? Items for future agenda? Nothing on the executive?
Chris, you got anything else?
No, I should probably just call in for all the meetings.
Yeah. It makes them
That's
short.
right,
too.
make it a whole lot shorter.
Yeah, like a short.
If you start going too long, I'll just say my phone died.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So be it.
That's all I have. If y'all would just put the 29th and July 17th on your calendar, that would be great.
Thanks, Christopher.
All right, do we have a motion to
Thank you.
adjourn? Second, all in favor?
All right, thanks, Chris.
All right, thank y'all.
What is all that other stuff? Did you just come straight from work or something?
No, this is actually the book.
Sharon,
Oh, okay.
I need to give that to Elisa, or can you give her that
Right, I have to,
application?
yeah.
Or you got one there? You got one?
Sounds
Okay.
good to me. I was thinking we put one of the new people as the tour.
Now we
You
need
hear
to get
that?
on the agenda for
Sharon?
It was said to
July.
Kimberly Stovall would be the person to put on the tourism.
There you go. So you have your DDA tourism rep,
Yeah.
put Kimberly on it.
I don't know, does she have,
Unless Bill wants to do it.
On the advisory board, what you,
we have to vote on it, but we
yeah.
have to vote on it.
But and she's not a member yet, so we'll have to do that next time. But you were saying you needed a DDA rep for the advisory board, so she'd be good for it.
and you waiting on the one from the hotel too, you said?
Just to schedule a meeting.
Okay.
It's just like herding cats.
Yeah. Trying to do a meeting with more, yeah.
That's exactly what groups are.
That's right.
Yeah, we're all too busy.